What's up, everyone, and welcome back to Movie Raised. With Season 1 already wrapped up, Season 2 is on the way. Netflix said so themselves on their official Twitter account. But what you didn't know is all the crazy things that go on behind the scenes. If you want to take a little peek at what was happening behind the camera on that set, here are the Outer Banks bloopers that are even better than the show. So let's dive right into them. Number 15, Chase and Rudy almost always mess their lines up.
Why don't you tell your dad I blew the balloon on the drop?
When the cast was talking about who messed up their lines the most, the entire crew pointed to Chase and Rudy. Even Chase Stokes pointed at Chase. While the rest of the guys have no problem remembering lines, these two are the absolute worst when it comes to filming. Chase has even said that he forgets the lines right in the middle of his monologue, so he has to constantly smash that like button if you haven't done so already. But what he needs is to get reminders all the time. Maybe that's because he has so many freaking lines to remember. Number 14, you almost got it, man. There's no doubt that the show has a lot of beach scenes, but not everyone is good on water. This case in particular proves our point. While his co-star was way ahead of him on the surfboard, he wanted to catch up and jump straight on the board that was floating near the docks. Well, maybe he imagined this scenario differently inside of his head, but it sure didn't go that way when he attempted to do it. Instead of staying dry on the board, he got soaked when the thing wobbled and kind of quote-unquote threw him into the sea. Number 13, Bailey sings and takes selfies on set. You might not have known this, but Madison Bailey is quite the singer. There are even videos of her doing covers of famous songs on YouTube. In one interview, the cast was asked who sings during filming the most. All the eyes were on Bailey. She has been known to just walk in and burst into song for no apparent reason. And while some of you might call her a dive, the cast has become used to seeing Bailey taking selfies all the time behind the scenes. She even added that most of the group photos of the cast are on her phone, so she's doing them a favor as well. Number 12, Davis impersonating the crocodile hunter.
Look at it. Now, you might not be able to see it because it's perfectly camouflaged, but it's right over there.
Acting is not Jonathan's only talent. Aside from acting and dancing, the guy is also known for doing numerous impressions on set. And even though they didn't make it to the official blooper reel, we managed to find some online. The first one is of him impersonating Steve Irwin as the crocodile hunter. Now, this was not your usual impersonation. Instead of doing close-up footage on an exotic animal, Davis did an interview on the exotic creature that is, get this, Chase Stokes. Number 11, and he also did a 12-minute bit impersonating Morgan Freeman.
To the sweet, silky, silvery voice of Morgan Freeman.
The cast got to talking, and we soon realized that the crocodile hunter isn't the only impersonation that Davis does. Some of the other voices in his repertoire include that of Morgan Freeman. Some say it's nearly impossible to impersonate his golden voice. Davis, on the other hand, is so freaking good that he pulled an entire 12-minute bit talking exactly like the actor. And just like flipping a switch, the guy managed to get into character and did a short impression of Freeman on the spot. How cool is that? Number 10, Chase being gross. Now, we suggest you skip this part of the video if you're easily grossed out. The studly Chase Stokes showed a little side of him that we wish he hadn't. While other actors do goofy faces and things like that when they're bored behind the scenes and waiting for their part, Chase does something else. He builds on the goofy face by picking his nose. Even though we didn't see any boogers on camera, it was pretty gross looking at Chase pick his nose, even if it was on purpose. Number 9, the policeman had one hell of a time shooting.
How about you don't hand that compass off? Bing!
When you have rivaling gangs on the show, the police is bound to make a few appearances on the show. And while some of the footage is of them messing lines, oftentimes, they're having a blast with the equipment available on set. If you don't believe us, here's proof. First, they were messing with the police horn and accidentally turned on the boat siren. Another time, they were letting out strange noises on the set. And finally, instead of grabbing the police officer's gun, Charles Eston took her walkie-talkie along the way. But what did you expect to happen when giving goofy actors police equipment? Number 8. The planks couldn't handle the lock-picking. When trying to get out of the barred door, the actress tried to pick the lock and find her way out. But that's difficult to do when the planks of wood barring the door aren't nailed into place. What do we mean? Well, while filming the scene where she has to escape through the door that's blocking her way, the actress accidentally knocked down all of the planks of wood that were supposed to be nailed to the door. So now the door was wide open. Now, why doesn't this happen in real life? But no, in real life, you have to get a crowbar to get the job done. Number 7. Sarah can't seem to get her lines straight.
And war is always going well in my life.
Well, we suppose Chase and Rudy aren't the only ones messing up lines. Even though she's not famous for forgetting her lines, during the tough filming it happens to almost anybody. And this time, it was MADELYN Cline's turn. She only had to say one simple line, but for some reason, she just couldn't get it together. And they had to do 3 retakes of the scenes. At least, that's how many made it to the blooper reel in the end. But there could have been more. Number 6. Rudy and Chase slapping each other's arms. All good friends fight every once in a while, and these two did it right before shooting started. While they were still in John B.'s van, they started slapping each other on the arms like a bunch of little girls. Now, we don't really know what happened, but guys, please, we hate to see you fight. It's embarrassing. If you're holding a grudge, make sure you settle it off camera. This just looks weird. Number 5. MADELYN Cline farting. Before appearing in Outer Banks, MADELYN Cline had never shot anything remotely close to a sex scene before. The first one she ever did was when character on the show, Sarah, decided to make her relationship physical and sleep with Topper, played by Austin North. Knowing that this was pretty early on in the season, she didn't really know Austin all that well, and behind the cameras, sex scenes look nothing like they do in the final cut. There are cameras all around you and people are staring. So while filming her first ever sex scene, MADELYN was tense. To relieve some of that tension, she did something unusual. She let out the biggest and loudest fart anyone had ever heard before. Although the cast couldn't stop laughing afterwards, it did help them shoot the scene much easier. Number 4. The can throwing.
Come on, Chase!
So you really...
There must be some sort of a theme throughout this movie, but throwing cans at each other is somewhat of a tradition. But somehow, all of this can throwing hasn't made them any better at it. Instead, they just had to redo the scene around a half a dozen times. For instance, when Kiara threw that can of beans or whatever at Rudy, it took him about 4 tries before he could get it right. And Chase was on the roof when they were trying to hand him a can of beer, which also took him around 4 to 5 tries before they had the desired shot. Well, we suppose looking cool has a price. Number 3. Jonathan Davis pranked the stuntman.
My back. Oh, my back, dude. Idiot.
When the cast was asked to point out who was the biggest prankster on the show, all the fingers were saying Jonathan Davis. He managed to pretend that the stuntman had actually hurt him a lot, and he was complaining in back pains, as if he were paralyzed. But then, just as the man leaned in to see if he was actually hurt or not, the guy just gave him the middle finger, at which point the entire cast and crew laughed at them. Number 2. The Chase plastic cup headshot. You don't believe he's a prankster? Well, here's a video on his official Instagram account showing that he's actually true. Jonathan Davis was filming Chase sitting at a table. When he looked over to see what was going on, the guy flung a plastic cup in his face. Thank God the cup wasn't full. Number 1. And of course, the Rudy water bottle headshot.
Rudy.
And that's not the only time he hit someone in the face. The second time he did it was with his other co-star, Rudy Panko. And this time, Rudy wasn't so lucky. Instead of the empty plastic cup, JD smacked him on the head with a full water bottle. Based on his facial reaction, that had to hurt. Ouch. And on that note, we end this video. But hey, what are some of your favorite behind-the-scenes moments in Outer Banks? You can tell us in the comment section below. If you'd like more videos like these, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of them. And as always, thanks for watching, guys.